I was constantly humiliated by my coworkers. Every day, the whispers, the looks, the quiet snickers would creep up on me, sinking into my skin like needles. I kept my head down, just doing what I had to do to get through the day. But one day, something unexpected happened. My boss asked me to join an important meeting. I couldn't figure out why. Me? In a meeting? It felt surreal, like I was suddenly someone else, like I'd stepped into a world I didn't belong in. I tried to shake it off, telling myself, this is just a mistake, it's nothing. But as I walked into that room, I felt the weight of every eye on me. The room was filled with people who had never looked at me twice, now staring as though they were trying to figure out who I was. I felt exposed, vulnerable, like I was being measured, judged. Sophia, that's me, sitting in front of a computer in that small, dimly lit room, the weak light casting shadows across the space. Another day, another chance, I kept telling myself, forcing optimism into my tired heart. For months now, I had been trapped in this draining routine, waking up every morning with hope, only for it to be shattered by the time the sun set. I'd get up, fix myself a simple breakfast, and then lose myself in the endless sea of job postings, hoping that today would be the day things would change. There has to be something out there for me, I would mumble under my breath, moving the cursor across the screen, desperately searching for a job that would not only fit my skills but move my life forward. My eyes scanned each line, every word, yearning for an opportunity, anything that would give me a sense of purpose again. My fingers, swift and determined, typed out responses, sending resumes that highlighted my fluency in German and my technical knowledge. I clung to these skills like they were my only weapons in this cutthroat job market. Why is this so hard? I would say aloud, my voice echoing in the empty room, a reminder of how alone I felt. I have the skills, the determination, what am I doing wrong? Leaning back in my chair, I allowed myself a moment of silence. I closed my eyes and replayed every interview, every response I'd sent, wondering if there was something I'd missed, some small detail that could make all the difference. Maybe I need to redo my resume, I thought, the idea striking me like a flash of insight. A new approach, something that really grabs their attention. I opened my eyes, leaning forward again, driven by a renewed sense of purpose. I started drafting a new resume, this time adding a personal touch to each application. I'm not just another candidate, I typed, feeling a surge of passion. Every word I wrote felt charged with energy, as if I could already see my future career taking shape. I am the person you need to help move your company forward. Each time I applied, I allowed myself to dream. I pictured myself walking down the halls of a large company, my mind buzzing with ideas and projects that would contribute to its success. The golden light pouring through the window as the afternoon stretched on felt warm, soft, wrapping me in a gentle embrace. I paused, looking out at the world beyond, taking a moment to rest. I can't give up, I whispered, not so much to anyone else, but to myself. Somewhere, my opportunity is waiting for me. I just have to find it. With that thought in mind, I stood up, stretching my tired muscles. But my determination, well, that was unwavering. I knew the road ahead was going to be tough, yet, at the same time, I felt my resilience and passion would guide me through the storm. I turned back toward the computer, took a deep breath, and dove into work once more. Each job application felt like a seed of hope carried by the wind, in search of fertile ground. As I continued, the glow from the screen illuminated my face, revealing a message that seemed to stand out, shining brighter than the others. It was from M-Tech, a well-known name in the agricultural machinery industry. The sender was Gregory. And it wasn't just a name. I instantly recognized him. Gregory was the owner of the company, almost a legend in the industry. My heart started racing, my breath grew deeper, and a mix of anxiety and excitement surged through my body. Is this real? I asked myself as I reread the message, needing to confirm its authenticity. Gregory was interested in my resume and had invited me for an interview. Could this be the opportunity I've been waiting for? I wondered. Without wasting any time, I replied to the message. My mind felt like an avalanche of thoughts and emotions all at once. The interview was set for the next day, and I spent the rest of the day preparing. I reviewed my resume, researched the company, and absorbed as much information as I could about Gregory. I have to make an impression. I have to meet their expectations, I reminded myself as I picked out my interview outfit. I wanted something professional yet true to my personality. That night was long. Thoughts circled in my mind, and I tried to calm my nerves by recalling all my past achievements and the long journey that had led me to this moment. By the time dawn broke, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, I was already awake, ready to face what could be the most important day of my career. After a light breakfast, I stood in front of the mirror, practicing a few responses, while determination and nerves pulsed through my veins. I left the house with that same mix of excitement and tension. On the way to the company, the view outside the window blurred as my thoughts played out different scenarios in my mind. I kept reminding myself of everything I knew about the company, rehearsing what I would say during the interview. This is my chance. I can't waste it, I urged myself, feeling the weight of responsibility for every choice and action I'd made leading up to this day. When I stepped off public transportation and found myself in front of the company, I paused. The building stood tall, a symbol of success and innovation in the agricultural sector. I stopped for a moment, looking up as the sunlight reflected off the glass, casting a mosaic of light and shadow. It felt like a sign. I stood there, staring up at the company building, and let me tell you, it was a doozy. How intimidating and imposing, I thought to myself, my heart pounding like a drum. But mixed with that nervousness was a sense of awe and anticipation for what was to come. For just a fleeting moment, I allowed myself to dream, maybe I could be a part of this. But the jitters, they just wouldn't let go. What if I'm not the person they're looking for? What if I stutter or forget what to say? These doubts, they were filling up my mind like water in a glass. I took a deep breath, searching for that strength and confidence I knew was buried inside me. It wasn't easy getting here, I reminded myself. I've worked hard and prepared for this. I deserve this opportunity, I said, almost like a mantra as I took a step forward. There it was, right in front of me, the entrance to the company. It was like a door to a new chapter in my life, one I was ready to open. Right then and there, I took a moment for one last bit of reflection before stepping inside. I wasn't entirely sure which position I was interviewing for, but I understood this was my chance to show my worth, my passion, and my determination. All right, I whispered to myself, summoning up the courage to take that next step. And with my heart full of anticipation, I started walking towards the entrance of the company. I was ready to face whatever was waiting for me on the other side of that door. With a mix of anxiety and excitement churning in my stomach, I pushed open the door to the company. I felt the weight of that moment more than I ever had before. The lobby was spacious and bright, with the company logo proudly displayed on the wall. I was greeted by the receptionist, who checked my name and interview time. After that, I was led down the hallway to Gregory's office. Each step seemed to emphasize the seriousness and importance of this opportunity. The details of my surroundings reminded me of the company's prestige in the agricultural sector. As I entered Gregory's office, I found myself face to face with a man who was synonymous with success and innovation. Gregory stood up and extended his hand with a warm smile. He said he was glad to finally meet me and asked me to take a seat, gesturing to the chair in front of his desk. The interview started with typical questions about my experience and qualifications. Despite the nervousness that was still clinging to me like a second skin, I answered confidently. As our conversation progressed, Gregory began to explain the company's current situation in detail. As I sat there, listening to Gregory's words, I felt like I'd been hit by a ton of bricks. He told me, choosing his words carefully, that the position they were considering for me unfortunately didn't require all my skills. Then came the kicker: the only position available at that time was for a janitor. Let me tell you, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. All my efforts, all that preparation, it seemed like it had been for nothing. I was already starting to stand up, ready to thank Gregory for his time and consideration, when a thought struck me like lightning. Turning to Gregory, I said with all the determination I could muster, "I'll take the job." My voice didn't betray the storm of emotions I was feeling inside. I told him I believed in the importance of starting somewhere and that I was ready to prove my worth in any way necessary. Gregory looked at me like I'd grown a second head, but he nodded respectfully. He welcomed me to the company and told me to start the next day. We sealed the deal with a handshake, and I left that office with more emotions than I knew what to do with. Sure, there was disappointment coloring everything, but at the same time, I felt a fire of challenge burning inside me. "I'll show them all what I'm made of," I promised myself as I left the company building. I wasn't the employee I'd expected to be, but I was a woman determined to overcome any obstacle in my path. The moment I stepped out of the company's doors, I felt like I was caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Outside, the sun was shining bright, but inside me, clouds of doubt and uncertainty were brewing up a storm. Did I make the right decision? I asked myself, my steps as unsteady as my heart. Starting as a janitor seemed a far cry from using my skills and technical knowledge. It felt like a step backward in my career. But maybe, if I allowed myself a glimmer of optimism, this could be the first step towards something bigger. I've got to be strong, I told myself. I've got to prove my worth, no matter what form it takes. The next morning, I arrived at the company bright and early, decked out in the issued janitor's uniform. The fabric felt rough against my skin, a constant reminder of how far I was from my professional aspirations. As I took a deep breath and squared my shoulders, I walked into that building with a determination to face the day with dignity. It didn't take long for the sneers to start. Joseph, the current company manager, was the first to throw a contemptuous glance my way. I heard him say, loud enough for everyone around to hear, "Look at the company's new star." His voice was dripping with sarcasm as he continued, "I thought we were hiring based on ability, not running a charity." The group around him laughed, and let me tell you, it was a low blow. I felt the heat of humiliation rising in my face, but I refused to bow my head. Instead, I approached Joseph, looking him straight in the eye. I told him that everyone has to start somewhere, and that I was here to work, not to listen to judgments from people who knew nothing about me. My voice was steady, but inside, I was falling apart. Joseph just laughed and waved away my words. He asked if by work I meant cleaning the floors, then turned to his colleagues, seeking approval for his cruelty. He said he hoped I was as good with a mop as I was with words. I walked away from that encounter, but let me tell you, my determination was only strengthened by the confrontation. With every disdainful glance and whisper behind my back, I felt an inner strength growing. I was more determined than ever to prove that the limited vision of people like Joseph wouldn't define my worth or my destiny. That day, I worked harder than I ever had before. I wasn't just cleaning up the physical mess in the company, but also standing up to the moral disorder that Joseph and his cronies were spreading. I cleaned every corner, every space, with a dedication that went beyond the job. It was my way of proving to myself that I would always do my best, no matter what position I was in. During my break, catching my breath in the restroom, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had led me here. I whispered to my reflection in the mirror, "This doesn't define me. I know who I am and what I'm capable of. Someday, they'll know it too." That promise I made to myself, deep in my heart, reignited the flame of hope that had almost been extinguished during the interview. When I left that restroom, my expression was that of someone facing adversity but refusing to be beaten by it. Every taunt from Joseph, every laugh at my expense, it was all fuel for the fire of my determination. I knew the road ahead was going to be rough, rougher than a cob, as my grandma used to say. But I also knew that true strength isn't born from easy victories, it comes from the battles that leave you bruised and breathless. The previous evening, as I slowly changed out of my uniform and headed home, I was so bone-tired I barely had time for dinner before hitting the hay. As I forced down a TV dinner, my mind was racing. I knew it would be tough, I thought to myself, but I didn't think it would be this tough. It's like my coworkers don't respect me one iota. I've never experienced anything quite like this before. I spent that night mulling over the treatment I was receiving from Joseph and the others. Before the dawn even thought about painting the sky, I was back at the company. As I slipped on that uniform, I felt a mix of determination and resignation wash over me. Today's got to be better, I told myself, taking a deep breath before crossing the threshold into the company. That first day had been a real doozy, challenging me not just with the physical labor, but with the weight of others' judgments. But I was ready to prove my worth, regardless of my job title. Early that morning, a delicate situation unfolded.
Sophia had been feeling the growing contempt from Joseph ever since her arrival. He never missed an opportunity to interfere with her work, and this time was no different. Joseph deliberately spilled a mixture of oil and water down one of the main hallways. Not only was it a clear safety hazard, but it was also a slippery trap, designed to put Sophia in a difficult situation.
When I encountered the mess, my heart sank. I knew this kind of disruption wouldn't just take extra time to clean up, it was also a test of my ability to maintain the company's cleaning standards. I began the task carefully, acutely aware of the curious glances from passing colleagues. In the midst of this delicate effort, Gregory found me. His face, reflecting both concern and surprise, told me how severe the mess seemed. "Sophia, what happened here?" he asked, his voice tinged more with worry than reproach. I paused for a moment, turning to face Gregory, and answered honestly. "I found the hallway in this state, Gregory. I'm doing my best to clean it up as quickly and efficiently as possible, but I swear I didn't do this. I'm certain someone else was here before me, but I don't know who." Gregory observed the scene, and his expression softened. His careful words only strengthened my resolve to rise above the expectations and challenges of my position. "Understood," Gregory said. "I'll make sure nothing like this happens again under my watch," I promised, feeling a renewed sense of purpose as I returned to my work. After Gregory left, I continued with my tasks, my thoughts not only focused on the immediate cleaning but also on how I could contribute more meaningfully to this company in the future. Little did I know, the resilience and dedication I showed in facing these challenges, including those caused by sabotage, were beginning to pave the way for a role with greater influence and responsibility within the company. Meanwhile, Gregory, engrossed in the company's financial reports, was interrupted by a phone call. It was an anticipated call, but its significance remained unchanged. The call announced the imminent arrival of new agricultural machinery, a valuable addition to the company's portfolio. However, the representative from the manufacturer brought up one special issue. The orientation session for the machinery would be conducted only in German, and it was scheduled to overlap with Gregory's crucial meeting with investors. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Gregory called an emergency meeting with all company employees. They needed someone fluent in German to understand and translate the instructions, ensuring that the technical team wouldn't miss any critical information about the new machinery. "We need someone fluent in German," Gregory announced, scanning the room full of curious and tense faces. A heavy silence fell over the room. Even the technicians, and Joseph, the manager, remained silent. As the tension mounted and Gregory pondered his next move, to his surprise, a hand shyly rose from the back of the room. It was mine, the newly assigned cleaner, Sophia. The crowd murmured in surprise at the unexpected choice. I speak German, I said, my voice steady despite the disbelief in the eyes around me. I think you'll remember I mentioned it on my resume. I want to be of help in this situation, I added firmly, determined to prove my worth despite their skeptical glances. On the day of the meeting, the room was packed with employees, a mix of anticipation and skepticism hanging in the air. I positioned myself next to the technician and focused intently as he began his presentation. As I continued to translate, my confidence grew. Each sentence, each technical term flowed accurately, underscoring the significance of my presence in that moment.
Meanwhile, Joseph watched from the back of the room. His thoughts churned with anger and jealousy. How can this be happening, he wondered. He couldn't accept the fact that the same woman he had belittled was now playing a crucial role, ensuring the technical team fully understood how to operate the new machinery. She's just a janitor, he muttered to himself. He refused to acknowledge the skills and abilities Sophia had demonstrated during the assignment. The meeting continued without interruption, and Sophia skillfully navigated technical jargon and the subtle nuances of German, ensuring that everyone except Joseph recognized and valued her invaluable contribution. From a corner, Gregory observed. He was impressed not only by Sophia's fluency but also by her ability to remain calm under pressure, translating each word accurately, and facilitating everyone's understanding. By the end of the meeting, the room was filled with applause. It was not only recognition of the technicians and the new machinery but also acknowledgement of the crucial role Sophia had played. Gregory approached her, a smile of gratitude and admiration on his face. Thank you, Sophia. Today, you demonstrated incredible skill and dedication that far exceeded expectations, he said. Despite Joseph's sharp gaze, Sophia smiled humbly. She was fully aware of having proved her worth beyond any doubt. Yet, the pride in her eyes was impossible to hide. She knew she had taken a significant step, not just in her career at the company but also in gaining the respect and recognition she deserved. After the meeting, Gregory, eager to share the success of the event and discuss the next steps for integrating the new machinery, finished his meeting with the investors. Before diving back into corporate issues, he had heard a series of positive comments about the orientation session, especially regarding Sophia's role as an interpreter. Interested and pleased by the reports, Gregory decided it was time for a conversation with Sophia. It was a conversation that could significantly change the direction of her career at the company. Calling Sophia into his office, Gregory wasted no time in expressing his gratitude and admiration. Sophia, your performance today far exceeded expectations, he began, looking at her intently. You not only helped the company but also demonstrated impressive capability and professionalism, he continued. However, I am also aware of the negative comments and attitudes from Joseph towards you. Sophia, feeling discomfort at the mention of Joseph's name, maintained her composure as she listened. She understood what Gregory was referring to, but her response was cautious and dignified. Gregory, I believe everyone should be given the opportunity to grow and learn, she said. Joseph's words do not define my abilities or worth in this company. Gregory nodded, respecting Sophia's maturity in handling the situation. I agree, he said. That's why, on behalf of Joseph, I'd like to offer you the position of manager. You have proven that you possess the qualities we seek in a leader. Sophia felt waves of surprise and temptation at the offer. The idea of advancing so quickly and being recognized in such a concrete way was enticing. Yet, something within her hesitated.
I am truly honored by your offer, Gregory. But accepting it would be unfair to both myself and the team. There's still so much I need to learn about the company and about myself in a leadership role. Taking on the manager's position now might create more division than unity. Please give Joseph another chance. He might change. Gregory seemed moved by the thoughtfulness and sincerity I showed. He continued, I understand your perspective and respect your decision. How about a middle ground? For instance, a supervisory role could be a step forward without being too big a leap. I considered the new offer carefully. Becoming a supervisor would be a challenge, but it would provide a more appropriate pace for professional growth. I'll accept that position, Gregory. It offers a fair opportunity to contribute while continuing to learn. The next day, I arrived at the company not as a janitor, but as a supervisor. News of my promotion spread quickly, met with surprise by many and some degree of skepticism by others. On my first day as a supervisor, I felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. The weight of the new responsibilities pressed down on me, but I was determined to face the challenge head-on. As I walked through the halls of the company, I told myself, this is a new beginning. It's a chance to make a difference. I'll earn their respect through dedication and hard work. It was a quiet promise to myself, for my own growth and leadership. When I first met Adam, one of the engineers, in this new role, he was blunt. Coming from such a different position, how do you plan to manage all of us? Adam's question was marked by genuine curiosity, not malice. I met his gaze with a mixture of firmness and calm and replied, I understand your doubts, Adam. But I am here to learn and grow with the team. My vision is to work together, overcome challenges, and pursue innovation for the company. My words not only convinced Adam but reaffirmed my own belief in my capabilities and the potential for collaboration.
Joseph, watching from afar, muttered with disdain. Does she think she can become a leader? That's a joke. I'm the manager, and I'll be the one leading this team. His bitterness was evident, with the flames of envy and discontent burning fiercely inside him.
I couldn't comprehend why Joseph couldn't recognize my abilities and resolve. Adam's attitude started to shift as he worked more closely with me. In a meeting, he openly voiced his support. Sophia has brought new ideas and incredible energy to the team. She's achieving results that were once deemed impossible. His praise was not only for my work, but also for the way I inspired and united the team. Joseph, frustrated by my growing acceptance, tried to challenge my authority in front of the team. Sophia, you only know the basics of what we do here. How do you plan to manage all of this? His attempt to undermine the team's trust in me was clear. It was a petty power struggle he was eager to win. I responded to Joseph's challenge with calm confidence. I believe that together, as a team, we can find solutions. My job is to support and facilitate our success, Joseph. It's not about having all the answers. My response not only reinforced my position as a supervisor but also emphasized a collaborative and inclusive approach. Adam and I grew closer, our friendship built on mutual respect and admiration. Reflecting on our journey, Adam said, Sophia, you've shown me what it means to be a true leader. You're someone who lifts everyone around you. It was a recognition of the positive impact I had on the team and the company as a whole. On what seemed like any other ordinary morning at the company, I walked the halls with a confident stride, feeling grounded in my new role. Today, I'll check the progress of the new irrigation project, I thought. I was excited about the opportunity to contribute to the company's innovation. However, upon arriving at the test site, an unexpected problem arose. Joseph was tampering with a crucial component of the irrigation system. It was a subtle act of sabotage, but it had the potential to cause significant damage. This is odd, I muttered to myself. I watched as uncontrolled water gushed, flooding the experimental plants. Adam approached with a worried expression and was the first to put the situation into words. Sophia, we've got a serious problem. The irrigation system is out of control, and we can't reset it from the control panel, Adam told me. If that's the case, we'll need to shut the system down manually, I responded. Adam, do you know where to access manual control? I asked. I was already moving toward the location that had been indicated. As I tried to keep my composure, my mind raced with possible solutions.
Meanwhile, Joseph watched from a distance. A satisfied grin spread across his face. She won't be able to solve this, not in a million years. I've done my best to make sure it's beyond repair, he thought. He was filled with confidence, believing his plan to undermine Sophia's credibility in front of the team was coming to fruition.
As the team gathered around the malfunctioning system, I took the lead. Adam, please help me open the access panel. We need to cut the main power to stop the irrigation, I instructed. My hands were already at work, removing the screws that sealed the compartment. Do you really know what you're doing, Sophia? Adam asked. His voice carried a clear note of admiration. I could feel his respect as he watched me tackle the problem, blending my technical knowledge with natural leadership to analyze the entire system.
Joseph began to realize that his plan was failing and started to feel increasingly uneasy. How is she managing to pull this off? It's impossible. She's just, he muttered to himself. Watching his sabotage attempt transform into yet another victory for Sophia.
As the system finally powered down and the immediate crisis was averted, I turned to face my team. Relief washed over me like a warm embrace. Teamwork solves everything, I said, my voice carrying the weight of the moment. Let's get this repaired and find out what went wrong so it never happens again, I added, my gaze sweeping over each of them, acknowledging their contributions and reaffirming my role as their leader. Adam, standing beside me, couldn't contain his admiration. You truly saved us today, he declared with genuine gratitude. This company is fortunate to have you as a supervisor, and I'm thrilled to work alongside you, he affirmed, his words strengthening the respect and camaraderie that had grown between us. The sense of unity and mutual respect among us was palpable, a testament to our shared effort and resilience.
Meanwhile, Joseph retreated into the shadows. His frustration and jealousy were growing, an ever-expanding storm within him. That day had become an unshakable testament to Sophia's value and capability, revealing that any attempts to undermine her only made her stronger. I don't know what to do anymore, he muttered to himself, his voice heavy with defeat. If this keeps up, I'll end up being outdone by a mere janitor, he added, his frustration palpable as he grappled with his diminishing role.
After resolving the irrigation system issue, the peace at the company was only temporary. A new crisis emerged. This time, it involved the latest agricultural machinery. Its complexity and advanced technology were crucial for the company's future projects. However, a setup error was threatening not just the machine's integrity but also the schedule of an important agricultural experiment. It required not only technical skills but also the ability to decipher detailed technical manuals. Unfortunately, the manual was available only in German. I was urgently called to the location where the machine was set up. My heart raced with the gravity of the situation. I thought, I have to solve this. There's no other choice. With a careful eye, I assessed the machine, trying to identify the cause of the problem. I had the thick, complex manual in my hands and was immersed in reading it. It became clear that my fluency in German was as crucial as my technical skills. Here it is, I exclaimed after a tense few minutes. The error is in the power supply settings. We need to reset the system. I had to reset the parameters according to the manual. With the technical team by my side, I guided the reset process step by step. I translated the manual's technical instructions accurately and clearly. My ability to bridge technical knowledge with language skills proved to be the key in unraveling the solution, preventing the company from facing a major issue. This should solve the problem, I said. I watched carefully as the machine rebooted and functioned perfectly as expected. A sense of relief was evident among everyone present. The collective sigh of relief and the admiration for the supervisor, who proved to be an outstanding leader again, were palpable. Gregory, who had been informed of my success, was determined to find me personally and express his gratitude. "Sophia, your work today was outstanding," Gregory began. His eyes were filled with respect. "You not only saved the company from a significant loss but also demonstrated impressive leadership and skill. Your ability to combine technical knowledge with language skills at a crucial moment is exactly what the company needs. I am truly grateful that you are part of our team." Hearing Gregory's words, I felt a wave of pride and satisfaction wash over me. "Thank you, Gregory," I said. "I'm here to contribute and make a difference. It's gratifying to see that working together can overcome challenges," I added. My voice reflected the dedication and responsibility I felt towards the company and my team. The crisis with the new machine not only reinforced my position as a valuable leader at the company but also solidified the respect and admiration that Gregory and the team held for me. As I faced the challenges and continued to lead effectively, it became clear that my journey at the company was just beginning, promising further achievements and success for both myself and the company. After resolving the crisis with the new machine, the atmosphere at the company shifted to one of relief and celebration. However, for Adam and me, a lingering anxiety remained. There was a growing suspicion that recent events might not be mere coincidences or random technical failures. Determined, we began a careful investigation. We reviewed system logs, security cameras, and access records. What we discovered confirmed our suspicions. Joseph's traces were evident everywhere. There were clear signs pointing directly to him as the source of sabotage. With the evidence in hand, I confronted Joseph. Not with the heat of anger, but with the calm of justice. "Joseph, I know what you've done," I began. My voice was firm and unwavering. "You not only put the company and our projects at risk, but you also attempted to undermine the trust and hard work of the entire team." Joseph faced the undeniable evidence with nothing but stunned silence. His arrogance was still pulsing through his veins. All right. I'll stop the sabotage," he said. His voice was tinged with a mix of defeat and disdain. There was no request for forgiveness, just a grudging acknowledgement of being caught. But the situation did not end with Joseph's confession. With Adam's support, I took the matter to Gregory. I provided a detailed report on Joseph's actions and explained how his behavior not only jeopardized the company's safety and success, but also eroded the team's morale. Gregory listened carefully, reflecting the gravity of the situation in his decisions. Gregory expressed, "Sophia, your leadership and dedication in facing and resolving these issues have not only saved this company from a potential disaster but have also revealed a rare level of commitment and courage." His words clearly conveyed admiration for me. "That's why I'd like to offer you the managerial position once again. And we'll have Joseph choose a new role for himself," he continued. "Your ability to lead with integrity and your vision for the company are precisely what we need to move forward," Gregory said. His offer came at a moment when I felt ready to embrace the challenge. "Thank you, Gregory. I'm honored, and I accept the position," I replied. "It's time to bring positive change to this company, not just in projects but also in our company culture," I added. My resolve reflected the trust Gregory had placed in me. The next day, as I was formally introduced as the new manager, I saw the position not as a symbol of power but as a platform to effect meaningful change. I envisioned fostering a more inclusive, ethical, and collaborative work environment. Together, let's build a stronger, more united, and more innovative company, I promised the team. Each word was imbued with genuine dedication to the company's future. My promotion to manager, with a tripled salary, wasn't just a personal victory but an acknowledgement of my leadership abilities and the potential for collective growth. With Adam, my trusted ally, and a supportive team by my side, I was prepared to lead this company to new heights. Each future challenge would be seen not as a hurdle but as an opportunity to demonstrate true leadership, collaboration, and innovation. At the dawn of this company's new era, I entered the office with a gaze filled with determination and innovative ideas. As a manager, I was ready to not only transform the dynamics of the job but also to implement changes that fostered a more inclusive and equitable environment. My first action in the role was to promote Adam to a supervisory position. This decision reflected not only my trust in him but also my vision for collaborative leadership. Adam, upon receiving the news of his promotion, couldn't hide his mix of surprise and pride. "Sophia, this is unbelievable. But honestly, I already knew about your promotion," he said. "Gregory told me," he revealed. His smile radiated satisfaction and admiration for me. "I'm looking forward to working together to drive the changes this company needs." While Adam and I shared moments of celebration and planning for the future, Joseph faced the harsh reality of his actions.
Demoted from manager to janitor, Joseph's anger swelled like a storm on the brink of exploding. "This is humiliating," Joseph muttered. For the first time, facing the job of cleaning the same hallways he once walked with authority. "I'll make Sophia pay for this," he murmured. Unable to accept his downfall and the rise of someone he once underestimated. Sophia was acutely aware of the tension and challenges her new position would bring. But she remained undeterred by Joseph's hostility. On her first day as manager, she called a meeting with the entire team, outlining goals and emphasizing the importance of collaboration, mutual respect, and valuing each function within the company. "We all have vital roles to play at this company. Innovation, efficiency, and success are the fruits of our collective efforts," Sophia declared. Her voice was filled with conviction and inspiration. The team's reactions were varied but mostly positive. Many saw Sophia's vision as a motivation and recognized the opportunity to contribute to this company that valued their ideas and efforts. Adam, now a supervisor, became a crucial bridge between Sophia and the team, facilitating communication and supporting the implementation of new policies. For Joseph and his closest supporters, this change was a significant blow to their pride. Accustomed to an environment where hierarchy and authority were the currency of power, the emphasis on equality and teamwork felt like a threat to them. Joseph, in particular, struggled to adapt to this new reality. His mind was consumed with plans for revenge. Even if the effectiveness of these plans seemed doubtful in the face of Sophia's strong leadership and growing popularity. Joseph's patience was wearing thin. On a quiet night at this company, while the company rested in the darkness, he was alone in the building. Driven by a volatile mixture of anger and despair. "I'll show them, everyone," Joseph muttered to himself. His thoughts echoed through the empty halls as he prepared his revenge. His intentions were clear. Not only to disrupt daily operations but to create such chaos that it would cast doubt on Sophia's leadership. Scattering documents, toppling equipment, and obstructing workspaces, Joseph left behind a trail of turmoil. Each action was a scream of his frustration, an effort to regain some of the power he had lost. When he was finished, silence once again dominated this company, but the storm Joseph had created was on the verge of erupting.
A new day dawned. I arrived at the office early, as usual, but what I found was a scene of devastation. "What happened here?" I shouted, my voice trembling with fear as I took in the sight before me. Without hesitation, I grabbed the phone and called Gregory. My voice wavered, but I managed to stay composed. "Gregory, you need to come here." "I've never seen anything like this," I explained, feeling the weight of responsibility on my shoulders. As the employees began to arrive one by one, each reacted with shock and disbelief at the chaos that awaited them. Adam was among the first to arrive, and upon seeing the state of the company, his concern quickly shifted to me and how this would affect the team. "This is a disaster," Adam said to Gregory over the phone. His voice was filled with concern. "We need to sort this out quickly to prevent any disruption to our work." When Gregory arrived, the tension was palpable. He assessed the damage with a grim expression, realizing that recovery would require more than just a cleanup effort. "Let's check the security cameras," Gregory declared, determined to find the responsible parties. His voice carried a promise of action, a guarantee that justice would be served.
Meanwhile, Joseph, who was present, felt his fear growing within him. What if they find out? He thought anxiously. The possibility of being caught in his own trap had become a reality, and he had not fully considered the ramifications in his state of anger.
As a tense morning unfolded at the company, only Gregory and I watched the security camera footage. We were isolated in our office, away from the curious and worried glances of the other employees.
In the main area, a team led by Adam tried to make sense of the surrounding chaos. Everyone was trying to figure out who could have caused such destruction. Adam, already harboring suspicions, kept a close eye on Joseph. Joseph's behavior was erratic. At one moment, he stared nervously at the floor, and at another, he seemed to be secretly looking for an escape route. "Don't even think about leaving, Joseph. You are the prime suspect in my book," Adam asserted. His voice was firm and resolute. Joseph's every attempt to leave the scene was cut off. Adam's tone left no room for argument, and Joseph realized that any movement could further incriminate him, so he stayed put, despite the anxiety gnawing at him from within.
In the office, Gregory and I were observing the footage. The atmosphere was thick with a dark sense of anticipation. When a clear image of Joseph as the perpetrator of the destruction appeared on the screen, our expressions shifted to shock and disbelief. "I can't believe Joseph would do something like this," I muttered. My voice trembled not only from the betrayal, but also from the extent of the damage done to the company and team morale. Facing a serious crisis, Gregory acted with the gravity of a leader. Without hesitation, he picked up the phone. "I'm calling the police," he said firmly. "This is beyond a mere internal issue. It's sabotage and destruction," he declared. Each word carried the weight of the situation's seriousness. Reporting to the authorities wasn't just a legal necessity but also a step towards restoring order and trust within the company. As Gregory made the call, the tension in the office was palpable. Anger, sadness, and a resolute determination to confront the consequences of this desperate act mixed in the air. I was shocked but focused inwardly, preparing for what was to come. I knew that leadership would be demanded of me more than ever. Back in the main space, Adam and the others awaited the news. The uncertainty hung heavy in the air.
Joseph, feeling the consequences of his actions closing in, made a hasty decision in a moment of panic. He shoved Adam aside with desperate force and tried to flee this company. But as he reached the exit, aiming for the freedom he had envisioned, he encountered the police who had been alerted and arrived ahead of him, thanks to Gregory's warning. With no time to react or escape, he was quickly handcuffed. Every move he made was under the watchful eyes of his colleagues who had come to witness the scene. Joseph's arrest in front of all the employees was both a moment of collective catharsis and deep sadness. It marked the end of a tumultuous chapter in the company's history, characterized not by external challenges but by internal betrayal. As Joseph was led away to the police vehicle, the company's team watched with a mix of relief and sorrow. Gregory approached Joseph, paused for a moment, and looked him in the eye. "Joseph, this could have been avoided. She had the ability and earned the respect of us all," he said. "I hope you find a better path from now on," he added. His voice was firm, yet it carried a deep sadness over the choice of such a destructive path by someone so valuable to the team. Facing Sophia, Gregory nodded with respect. "I'm going to the police station to resolve this. Sophia, I'm entrusting you with leading the team in this moment," he declared before getting into his car and driving away. Leaving Sophia behind, with the team's eyes full of surprise and anticipation. With the weight of the team's gaze on her, Sophia stepped forward. Her heart pounded fiercely at the gravity of the moment. "Today, we are facing one of the most challenging moments in the company's history. But it's also a moment that reminds us of the strength we hold together," she began. Her voice grew in confidence and warmth.
What has happened does not define who we are. We are a team, a family built on respect, integrity, and a passion for our work. Let's use this moment to come together even more, to learn and grow. This company will emerge stronger from this. Because each of you has immeasurable value to this company."
Among the crowd, Adam, moved by Sophia's powerful message, could no longer contain his support. "That's right, Sophia. We're all behind you," he shouted. His enthusiasm resonated among the attendees. It started with Adam and quickly spread like a wave through the entire gathering, a thunderous applause that continued. Even from those who had recently doubted Sophia. It was a cathartic moment, a recognition of her leadership and the new chapter this company would begin under her guidance. In the following days, the company began the process of healing and rebuilding. Sophia led the way, with Adam standing as a pillar of strength and support by her side. At the end of a long week, the two sat side by side, gazing at the horizon. The sun set, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. "Do you really think we've overcome all of this?" Adam asked. With a smile of admiration directed at Sophia. He marveled at how they had overcome so many adversities in such a short time. And at how they had managed to resolve everything together.
I looked at Adam, his eyes catching the soft hues of the setting sun. He said, "If you stay by my side, I believe we can overcome anything." His voice was soft, yet filled with conviction. "Thank you for being here with me and believing in me when I needed it the most." Adam smiled, his eyes shining with emotion. He replied, "Sophia, if we're going to face these challenges, I wouldn't want to be with anyone else. You've shown me the true meaning of leadership and friendship. I'm grateful for all the professional and personal growth we've experienced together. We've come a long way, and I know we'll continue to move forward." In that moment, sharing a comfortable silence, it was clear that Adam and I were more than just colleagues. We were best friends. Though tested to the limit, our bond was only strengthened by the mutual trust and respect we had built. With Gregory and Adam by my side, leading the team, MTech wasn't just in good hands, it was destined to reach new heights of success and innovation. It was a testament to resilience, teamwork, and inspiring leadership.
You have reached the end of yet another story of overcoming challenges. Consider giving our channel a like and subscribing. By doing so, you'll support us in continuing to bring you exciting videos almost every day. We deeply appreciate your support. Don't forget to check out the videos appearing on your screen. See you there.